Hello guys, this is Elle and welcome to my channel Elstar Poetry and Insights. Today's video will be an introduction to an upcoming series that I will be making about life lessons that we need to learn, and those lessons may be at this point in your life something that you are experiencing, have experienced, or will be experiencing in the future. This segment of my channel is dedicated purely for people who need to hear this message I am sharing. And this is really more of a podcast, so you can listen to it because there is no need to be watching the screen. Just put on your headphones. Bluetooth headphones is best if you want to move around or if you are doing something that needs movement, like gardening, mowing the lawn, cleaning, and the like. Be aware, though, that the message I am sharing are all my own thoughts and opinions on topics I am talking about, based solely on my experiences in life and research, and that in no way am I claiming expertise on anything. What we are seeing on the screen right now is how I am going to present this video to you today. Since the global pandemic hit our country and traveling is not an option right now, I will bring you to the virtual world of the stars, No Man's Sky version. So my character in this game is seated, you can see the head there, on the roof of one of my housing on this base that I created, and giving time to contemplate on life and experiences and whatever else it is that makes us who we are. I really hope you enjoy the video today. Alright, so this is my very first video on this series, and though I am not really sure where I am going with this, I just have this strong desire or inner knowing, and I am being led to share my journey towards healing and transformation. I have contemplated on this thought for over a year already. And no matter how I try to run away from this path, I have been catapulted to this present moment to go ahead and share this journey of healing the inner child within each and every one of us. Because this is a journey, some of the thoughts I am sharing here might offend someone if these thoughts tend to be on the negative side of things. I titled this series of videos as Going into the Shadows. So please, if you are sensitive to negative things, you might not want to listen. Also, this channel will be specifically dedicated to reading my thoughts that I have already written down, and poetry I have written over the years in no particular order or sequence, although my poetry has its own segment, so you might like to check that if you wanted more of the poetry. I probably will mention it here, but I won't spend so much time on it. Maybe a portion of it I will probably read or something, mention that, but the poetry itself, the whole thing, will be in a different segment, which I have playlists you can check and explore. Just go to my home channel, which you can go to by clicking my picture on the channel. Okay? Why? Why was it so hard to say? Anyway, okay, so um these stuff I have here are all about introspection, retrospection, and self-analysis of things and events that happened in my life that I find crucial and how I progressed or regressed through my life. So if I make mistakes when I say something, please forgive me because I am doing this in real time. I'm not, I don't really want to edit a lot of stuff because editing takes a lot of time. So, yeah, I will just go with the flow and I hope you get the message clear, and that you can resonate with the message that I am trying to share. Now, why am I doing this? That is the question that I have contemplated on for almost, well, over a year. Not almost, it's over a year now. Well, the reason for that is because I wanted to share my thoughts and experiences of daily life, hoping that somebody or some people or one person, it doesn't really matter, might be able to resonate with these things I'll be talking about here, and that they are inspired to look deep into themselves and feel that they are not alone in that negative, dark place that they are in, because sometimes we just don't want to ask for help. We want to take everything in. Sometimes, or most of the time, we feel intimidated to tell somebody how sucky our life has been or how things went so badly with the decisions we've made that we thought were better at the time we made it, but turned out to be a nightmare, and that we feel there is no escape. And that we don't want people to know that we are in this place that we feel imprisoned in. And that no matter how we want to escape from it, we just get stuck every day doing the same thing over and over, making the same mistakes, yet hoping things will be all right. The thing is, sometimes they do become better, but sometimes they just don't. The only way to go is to move forward. If ever you want to go back into the past, it is merely to revisit the choices you've made and reevaluate with a new set of perspective the choices you've made and reevaluate with a new set of perspective gained by going through the pains and tribulations of the past and learning the lessons gleaned from these experiences. So, the path I took in my own journey was the road less traveled. This path I took was a choice I made, triggered by the circumstances that tore my heart and soul to pieces. Despite that this was my choice, I felt so alone and distressed to the point of me blaming the Almighty. I reached a breaking point and I was consumed with so much hopelessness that I almost took my own life one day. But a voice in my head told me I should not waste the gifts and blessings I was given by the Creator. This shook me up and averted what could have been the end of me. And I wouldn't be here today to tell you this story, right? So my hope in doing this is for you, the one listening right now, who needs another caring soul who has been through tough battles too, to tell you that you are not alone. even when you feel you are most of your life. Yes, we are broken by people we love and trust. We get lost on our way in the world that has turned materialistic and superficial. And we mess up our lives with the bad decisions we made brought about by the confusion and turmoil we feel inside our minds and hearts. But we are strong deep inside of us. Our spirit is indomitable. This is the truth of who we are. Always has been. We just forgot. Remember, you were endowed with the gifts and blessings of the Almighty when you chose to be born into this material world. Your body is just a vessel to that spirit that wanted to learn, grow, and evolve into a higher form. So do not allow your body to be your prison. Instead, release your spirit from the body so it can grow and reach its full potential. If you nurture your body, your spirit awakens. So, dear listener, allow yourself to experience love, transcend into a higher plane of existence by letting go of the bad but embracing the lessons these are trying to teach you. Forgive yourself for everything that happened, whether things were done to you or things that you did to yourself or to others. And throw these unwanted baggages out of you. This is not easy, so keep your own pace. It doesn't matter how slow or how long this will take. What matters is you are moving forward towards your own healing and transformation. And that is your own journey to tell someone someday when you reach that point of love for yourself, for someone, for others, for humanity. So, the topic for today's video is consciousness. If you clicked on this video, then you probably were guided to receive this message. So, I woke up at 1:30 in the morning after sleeping for about 16 hours straight. It's amazing how my sleeping routine has drastically changed right after I was forced to rest for days due to my back pains brought about by me sitting for 11 hours straight. Can you believe that? Yeah, I can't even believe it. Yeah, but that's how it was. It's pretty puzzling even to myself, who is so used to such erratic routine. How I can be so out of sorts when I am doing something that totally captivates my interest, like arts or anything creative of that sort. So, about a week earlier, I was bent on finishing my album projects, which is an ongoing project I had my eyes on for about 20 years now. 20 years, my gosh. I had been planning on sorting all the family's photos to make my ultimate album, but I haven't, couldn't, or wouldn't find time to really sit and do it. I have been preparing too long, and too many excuses have already been made when I think about it being unfinished. Finally, after my Palawan trip, which was very unforgettable trip where a storm was brewing somewhere when we were having supposedly having fun. It wasn't so much because I personally was really scared. But anyway, I decided to collate all the photos and do the album project once and for all because we took a lot of photos and they were really beautiful. The place was just a paradise. So I invested time and resources to get the necessary materials and most especially the color tank printer that I so desperately needed to get this project done. Then I had to sort out the photos from my camera roll and started printing on photo paper, which turned out to be a bit pricey. Anyway, I was printing them already when I realized I needed to save on the photo paper. So I had to manipulate the photos to print four pictures on a 4 by 6 paper. So you can imagine after printing it, the paper was divided into 4 parts, so they were tiny. Because of this, I had to use a graphic editor for that, which thank goodness I have, which I would not mention. And then it just diverted my attention from printing to finding the suitable app for my purposes of cropping photos or images, which the program that I was using doesn't have a good job at. To getting a writing app, so I had to get a writing app to complement the graphic app, which is a complementary project to the album, since my idea was to add a write-up to each picture as a memory keeping sort of stuff. After deciding on a plethora of note-taking apps, I got this particular app that I'm using still, which I excitedly tried, but unfortunately I found out that I had for my purposes needed to accessorize with stickers and papers, covers, etc., and that I suddenly had a burst of energy when I found out I can make my own digital planner, which was the fad at that time, by the way, just mentioning. Which is like the digital version of my Filofax. For those that don't know what a Filofax is actually a notebook, like a binder kind of notebook. It's mine is a Filofax Malden, which is a very beautiful leather Filofax. So it's a planner, like which is like a binder, yeah. And so after deciding on a plethora of note-taking apps, I got my head on it. But OMG, do you know how much of a pain it is for my back to carry that heavy load of a Filofax every time I go out? Well, I bet you don't know because you are not addicted to paper like me. I basically stuffed my Filofax with tons of paper, which I cut myself also. From regular 8 by 11, I cut them to fit into my Malden Filofax. So for 3 days, I was at it like a mad woman who fell in love for the first time doing all this digital stuff. Hence, I was so absorbed and enjoying my time too much to a point that I sat down for 11 hours without even knowing it. You see, I guess I'm just so passionate that way. So here we are today. I had been lying down for almost a week now, since when I wrote this. Of course, I'm not going to tell you when, but I'm just saying that since I had that event of my back, my painful back, that's already a week. All right. And almost done. At this point, my back was so painful. Oh, wait, sorry. Scrap that. So, it's so hard to explain. When my back was hurting and it was so painful and I can barely bend or move from side to side. Okay. And so I patched my back with something, yeah, to ease the pain, which actually helped a bit. But after a day of it on my skin, the area gets really itchy. So I took them off, obviously. I think now I am healing at the point when I was writing this, right? I am healing as long as I remember to stand up every now and then. I'll be good as new. All right. So the thing is, due to the lying down, I had been so languid at the time and it ruined my sleeping rhythm since I sleep on different times of the day and night. I feel like my body has lost sense of night and day. Yesterday, I fell asleep around 9 in the morning to 1:30 in the morning the next day. Do the math because I hate it. Which, by the way, while on a half awake state of mind at some point of the night, I realized the aircon was on and it was already morning. I was even reprimanding myself for being so irresponsible as to leave the aircon running till morning, which is not really my habit. I'm conservative of resources that way. But this time, for some reason, I didn't. And this is in my mind, right? But the reality was that it was just going into the night. That's why the aircon was open. So I thought it was already morning, but really, it was, it was really morning and the night already passed, right? But the fact is, I slept in the morning, so definitely when I woke up, it's still like in the noon time. Still noon. So my brain was out of sorts at this time. Instinctively, though, I turned it off and went to sleep, still thinking it was already morning. Anyway, before I awoke at the aforementioned time, what the? Who use aforementioned? It's only in law books. Duh. Anyway, I woke up. I went on a half awake state again. And my brain suddenly wore my thinking cap on. I had the scenarios played on, events, theories, and whatnot, right? And I just woke up at this time, still foggy, I suppose, from sleep. Eventually, I came to a realization, and my eureka moment happened. So, if you go back to my introduction earlier in the video, I told you that about a year ago or over a year ago, I was contemplating on making this channel and how am I gonna go about it and what the content of the channel should be. At that point, I was already led to do this, but I just didn't act on it, thinking it's ridiculous. I mean, who would want to listen to it? Who wants to know? Who'd want to understand? In my mind, nobody would really want that. So, this is already over a year that I have been contemplating on this stuff, and that eureka moment happened to me already over a year ago. Okay? Just for timeline's sake. Alright, so the eureka moment is this, and really, the reason why the video's topic is consciousness. So, consciousness versus reality. It has been a much debated topic amongst the scholars or would be ones, and I just couldn't get the grip over this. I have watched videos and read some articles about this, but it didn't really hit me like it did during my half awake moment. I was fully aware at that time of what was going on in my head, as well as what was going on in my physical head, anchored to a pillow with all the covers on me. I was warm and cozy. I wasn't dreaming. I was, at that moment, of finally understanding the scheme of things plaguing us and the endless questions as to why would people intentionally want to deceive us from learning the truth, hence the hidden story histories of the world and the world before us. No matter what I hear or read, I was very skeptical of it, thinking that these people supposedly exposing these stuff have some hidden agenda to fool us all into believing something when there is really nothing there in the first place. But now I realized there is some truth to what they are trying to expose. The problem is, I just wasn't ready then. So my perception of things is a bit skewed, making me less bound to pursue the topic. Now, thought is a different story. So here it is, my new understanding, and this is the Eureka moment. Consciousness is born out of the spirit of our creation, while reality is the experience born out of our physical interaction with the world. How we perceive things is how it will manifest into our physical realm. While we have not perceived it, there is no way for this thing, object, idea to come forth and materialize. It is our knowing of it that makes it manifest to a form or matter and makes up reality. Thus, anything we have thought of, whether in detail or not, will take shape in reality. This is where the programming on television comes into play. People ask why would these so-called manipulators or those higher ups intentionally do this, lying to the people of the world to cover up something or lie about our history or hide the truth from us. What do they gain? And I have answered this question by stating that because we are fed subliminal messages, ideologies, products in the form of advertisements, and thoughts via television, music, movies, and games, sports in the name of entertainment, we so willingly sell our free thinkers' rights for free so we can be hypnotized by the lure of pleasure for the senses, and in doing so, we fail to realize that our minds are being irreversibly corrupted. Now, imagine what these manipulative tactics can do to the children who are pure and innocent and has the biggest capacity to mentally absorb and assimilate ideas and thoughts. Imagine the impact and corruption it will bring to the child's psyche, which brings us to the current state of affairs of the world in the brink of chaos. If they, whoever the they is, you can insert your understanding of they, have been doing this dumbing of the masses since television has been invented, can you imagine what kind of future we face? For every home that has television turned on, and for every child or young person that watches these programs over decades of manipulative broadcasting, how many of them now are a state of power or authority who are brainwashed to spread fear and chaos, diversity and racism, hate and aggression. We know for a fact that the world has been infiltrated via religion, politics, social engineering, entertainment, and are gravely misinformed via the media, whose owners are the same people who belong to the group of individuals who want to enslave humanity. Enslave? Nah, I'll tell you why later. If we think on this seriously, we might feel at a loss and might see things gravely to the point of the end of the world kind of scenario, OMG. Hence, all these zombie apocalypse or superhero kind of movies getting released more and more as the days wear on. But do not despair, ladies and gents. Please do not. The world is a world of duality. If there is evil, there is good. That is something we can count on. The only thing the only thing we should think about is the bad guy wreaking havoc upon the world, creating fear, because that's what they do best. We should be wary of that. We must be aware of that. The bad or devil's work, that's a very strong word. We should not be using that word. So, the bad work is always laid with arrogance and pride. So, these people who worship whoever they worship that doesn't project positivity will show their handiwork all the time for us to see in plain sight. But the good men and women of the world are not sleeping, nor is the Father Creator, nor the Most High, whoever you believe in, the high, the divine, the Most High, as I said, whichever religion you prefer or whichever belief you hold. Okay, we are not trying to go there. We are not discussing that. Your belief is your own. Okay, so this higher form or your which you believe in, and for me that is my Creator, the Most High, the Almighty God, the Father. That's for me. He knows what is going on, but He is powerless to help us if we do not use our free will to ask for His help and guidance. Jesus Christ, my Savior, in my faith, He is within us. All we need is ask Him, for He is of the Father, and He is the way, the truth, and the life. So, as I was saying earlier, that part where I said enslave humanity, it is a construct. It is a construct of our minds. Okay? Whatever we see or however we see things that it happens to us, happens in the world, it is up to you to see it. You can choose to see it in a positive light, and you can choose to see it in the darkness of your thoughts and of your heart. And if we bring ourselves to the present time with the COVID-19 pandemic going on, and right now we are on the MCQ. What is MCQ? Modified quarantine. MCQ, modified community quarantine. Yeah. If we think of it at this time and bring ourselves to it, if we think about it and put our hearts into it, we can actually think of it and feel it, sense it in a positive way if we do not play into the feelings of despair and hopelessness with the no jobs available and less money, less material stuff we gain. We can feel it in a way positively. Like if you want to see it as a blessing in disguise, because before, when we had no time to actually spend with our families because we were all spending our time working, going out, spending with friends, and traveling wherever, having having to do all the pleasure trips and all that for the senses. Now we can actually stay home and devote our time to spending with our families. Some of us will be forced because not all of us are happy dealing with our families because, we are not all in happy relationships. Yeah, we recognize that as well. And we will be forced to deal with that. And in this way, of being forced to deal with it, we are actually healing ourselves. Yes, it is difficult. Yes, it's conflicting. Yes, it is annoying. It's irritating to deal with your, let's say, just an example, mother that rambles on and on, a ranting parent or sister or brother or part of the family, whoever it is that you live with, and there is some behavior that you are exposed to that you do not like, definitely it will trigger something in you. And what is that triggering will do to you? It will enforce that feeling to come out into the surface. It will bring it out. The pain, yes, definitely. The irritation, the anger, the annoyances, and all these things, it will come forth. It will get out from inside you. You buried it. You buried it deep inside of you. You've forgotten it existed. But no, it never left you. It's there under. You don't dare to go there. And that's why you go out, run away from inside you. You go out, seek friends, and do some happy stuff because you don't want to deal with what is ailing you deep inside. I know I'm touching on some nerve here, but I'm just saying that this pandemic has brought us to look into ourselves, and it brings about this stuff that you don't want to bring out, these stuff that are hidden deep inside you. You don't even want to take a peek of it because it's way too painful to even just remember a little bit of it. Yeah. So this time it is bringing it out, and then the pain that you experience connecting to this past hurt, hurt in your heart, in your soul, in your inner child. Slowly, you are processing. You are processing now because you didn't want to process it before. You chose to forget. But now you are forced to deal with it because if for example, it is a parent that brought you this kind of pain when you were a child. And because this is a parent, you dare not get angry, you dare not get annoyed, you dare not get irritated because we love our parents unconditionally, and that is a fact. We do. And so, instead of facing that pain, we would rather just not think about it. We'd rather forget about it. We'd rather forget that something in the past hurt us. And sometimes we really forgotten it unintentionally because we were young then. We have no memory, okay? But it doesn't mean that because we don't have memory, it didn't exist. It is deep within our psyche. As they said, studies show that even while you are inside your mother's womb, you already experience. Okay, there have been studies like that. I cannot mention them right now, but yeah, there are. And that if as a child that is within your mother's womb you're already experiencing, imagine if you're already born like 2 years old, 3 years old, you probably have no memory, and yet it it is there. It happened to you. Okay, so it is within your choice to see things however you see things, that's how you will react to it. So if you see things positively, you will react to it positively with a positive energy. If you react to it in a negative way because you are seeing it in a place of despair and hopelessness and all this, oh man, I have no money. Oh man, I cannot earn money. Oh, I cannot buy this. I cannot go there. This is a place of negativity when you think you can't, when you think you are stopped, or you are not allowed to do things, right? It annoys you, it irritates you, it upsets you, it gives you this kind of rage inside that you are not allowed to have the freedom to do what you want. But if you see that in a perspective where there is, it's another way of seeing things. Like, yeah, you cannot go out, but then you have other things you can do, right? It's not like you are chained to your bed and you cannot move. You have other things to do with your time instead of going out. So my message is that we are able, we have the capacity or the ability to see things in a different perspective from the way we used to think before and how we think now, or how others project their thoughts and ideas on you. You can choose to deviate from that by doing it your way, your own way. That is your life, that is your experience. You should be doing all the thinking, you should be doing all the doing, acting, and deciding on your own life. So, um, I hope that it made sense for you. And thank you for listening, and I appreciate your presence here. I hope you leave the channel today with positive energy. If you are going through tough times right now, believe that this is just a phase of your life, like a temporary storm, and that it will soon pass. You can change the circumstances of your life by changing the way you react to things and acting on those reactions in the most positive way that works for you. Be blessed and choose to be happy by constantly reminding yourself that your life is your own responsibility. How you react to things that happen in your life is your choice. So until next video, guys, do take care. Bye for now. Okay, guys, as I said, I'm gonna show you my base here in this game. Yeah, this is actually my farm. So, pretty farm because the farm is in biodomes, like glass igloos or something. So, this is my tropical farm. Well, I call it tropical because the weather in this planet is actually really nice, except for burst of rainstorms. So, yeah, what we are looking at right now is my ship, and which is pretty cool. It's a living ship, and down there are my mineral extractors, and I built this base on top of the mountain hill, however you call this, so I can see the vast expanse of space. Look at that. That one looks like a pyramid. Looks not exactly. But yeah, it was funny when I created this base. That part where we are looking at, that is filled with water. The whole thing is filled with water. But look at it now. I mean, I wonder, this base was probably built, what, a year and a half, 2 years ago or something. Yeah. But as you can see, the water is drained. Amazing, right? Because some parts of the world in our reality, human reality, not game, not virtual reality, some of our waters have receded. Like there was a part in 2017, I think it was 2017, that there was a hurricane somewhere and the water receded from the beaches or so, from the beach. So yeah. And here you can see the water sort of drained. And now we can see just a small part of this river. I would say it's a river from up here. Looks like small area, but when you go down there, it's actually really huge. So yeah, sort of reminds me. What comes to my mind right now is Mediterranean for some reason. Yeah. So it's just amazing because some of the bases I've built on places with beautiful water. And one of them is this base because there that was the water there were really was very blue. It's really pretty from up here looking at that scenery there. And that is the reason why I built my base in this area. But unfortunately, it has changed over so many patches of the game. And but nevertheless, I have recreated this base already from just an ordinary to structure base to this really huge one. I fly over there. I know this is not related to the content of this video, but this is the entertainment part of it. Or life without fun is boring. So I actually build the way I do this game since I started. I build and meditate. If you can understand that, I don't know. But what I do in this game is more like, I'm creating, I'm making bases, I'm building structures. But I'm meditating sort of because as I was building or putting in pieces of metal to build the structure and or harvesting the materials to build my structures, I'm actually going back into the past, even as far back as when I had my early memories as a child. There were times when I played this game I was crying, which is really awkward if you think about it, because I'm playing and at the same time I was not really playing. My eyes, I'm sitting on my chair, I'm doing stuff, my character is moving, my hands are moving because I'm controlling the controller. But I was somewhere else. I was brought into the past, and it's really difficult to explain. I know if somebody can resonate with that, but I was meditating, and yeah, there is a rainstorm going on right now, and so we are outside and in danger of dying. But I am geared for this kind of environment, so I'm no longer fearful of that where I used to die. I mean, I didn't die, but you don't go out. This is a survival game, by the way, if I haven't mentioned that. this is a space survival game, and as you can see, it's 106 degrees, so it's really, really hot outside with this rain storm going, but we are protected, so we don't care about that anymore as we used to. Now, as I'm going back to the meditative part, because you were probably wondering what I'm doing. Um, I do this as part of fun and entertainment, but I'm really not doing it like that, because while doing the game stuff, I'm actually meditating or retrospecting. I'm doing an introspection and retrospection of my life, which I can actually do just by lying down on bed and staring at the ceiling and thinking, but I prefer to do it creatively. Yeah, I suppose that's how I would put it, creatively, and hence the gaming. And yeah, it's pretty fun. So I was creating this base and it's not even finished. Just one part is finished, but it's just one of the many bases I have created over, I don't know how long have I been playing this game. Anyway, so yeah, I'm signing off now, and because I promised I'm gonna show you the base, and that's how it goes. This is a farming base. This is not a habitable base. I haven't really made any in this game a habitable base. Maybe sort of one base probably, but this one is basically farming base. All right, so that is it. I'm going to go now.